Hi everyone, we're here with today's live, and today's question is actually coming to you from North Carolina, where I'm traveling for business trip, so tomorrow and Friday will also be from North Carolina. Let's get to the question. Today's question from Kate is, what's the best way to bring data into the mix when you're creating a project from scratch? And this is a good question because a lot of times when we're working on different projects or different products, maybe it's a brand new thing that we haven't done before, or we're adding a new feature. So we don't have the data from what happened in the past to be able to compare against and see how we're doing and see if we're successful. And when you're thinking about this and you want to start a new project on something that you haven't done before, whether you're building a completely new product or you're building a new feature out, what you want to look for is data that's out there in the world and in the market that you're serving. So consider who is going to be using your product and what are they using now? Who's going to be coming to the website that you're working on and where are they going now to get that information, and see what analytics you can gather from that. If you take a look at, if you do some research, just Google some competitors, you can often find some data that they've shared about their own success metrics, especially if they think they're doing well. So that's a good starting point as well. You can also get an industry benchmark for different criteria about types of apps and types of expectations that you can have for those things. So for example, email open rates are there's a common average that you can expect to have that's normal, which I think is around 20%. But when you start your newsletter, you might find that you're only getting 15%. Well, that's not very good. On the other hand, you might be getting 35%, and that could be really great. And so by taking the industry benchmark, you can give yourself a sense of how you're doing compared to the industry. When you've had your product or your email newsletter or anything that you're working on over time, then you can start comparing to how you've performed in the past. But when you don't have that to start with, it's great to go look at what's happening in the market and what are the industry standards. Another good one to think about if you have a product is how often someone would be logging into that product and how often they'd be active there. And so if you think about contextually, well, our product is something people will only use once or twice a month, then you don't need to have people logging in every day, and that's not a good metric for you to go by. But if you're Facebook or you're trying to be a social network like Facebook, you might want to be checking, are people logging in regularly? Are they staying there a long time and being engaged? Or are they checking in, not finding what they're looking for and leaving? And so you can get a sense based on the context of how people would want, or how you would want people to be using your product, to understand if you're hitting the mark or not when you're first starting out and you're building a product. That's it for today's question. If you have a question, you can leave me it in the comments, or you can email me at hello@pixelsforhumans.com. Thanks, and see you tomorrow. Bye.